Hello everyone, my name is Lynnette Stephens and I want to thank you guys for joining me today. I have a craft idea that I want to share with you because I know that as the holiday weekend kind of comes to a close here in the next few days, that probably lots of you are going to be taking down your patriotic decor and you're probably going to be looking for some other summer decorating ideas for ways that you can dress up your porch or your yard. So I want to share a really fun idea with you guys. It's actually a two-part idea. So we're going to be doing the first part of the project in this live video, and then in the next couple of days I'll come on sometime later this weekend and share the second half and kind of finish up the project with you guys. So before we get started, hi Julie, I'm so glad you could join me. I've missed you guys, so thank you so much. I want to share with you that I'm going to be doing a giveaway today for the live. I'm going to be giving away a super cute silver and turquoise necklace made by Iron Orchid Studios. Super cute in person. I'll hold it a little closer, maybe you guys can see it better. Anyway, in order to be eligible for this cute necklace, I'm going to need you to do two things, actually three things for me. I need you to like this video and then share my video on your timeline, on your personal Facebook page, and then come back here on my page and just comment shared so that I will know that you shared it, and I'll go verify that you've shared it on your page, and then tomorrow evening I'll do a drawing. So the drawing, let's see, today's the 5th, so Saturday the 6th, July 6th in the evening, I will draw someone and get this cute necklace mailed out to you. So if you want the drawing, like the video, share my video, and then come back and comment to me. So hi Jean, I've missed you dear. It's good to hear from you. So Jennifer, mwah, you are awesome. Thank you so much. That was fast. Jean, you guys are so good to me. I appreciate you. Okay, so I've got a really cute watermelon craft that I want to share with you guys. And like I said at the beginning, it's a two-part series. So we're going to do the first part of our project on this live, and then I'll come back and do the second half and show you how to put it all together. Be super cute on your porch. When we get done with this, girls, if you don't do anything else on your porch between now and the time I'm ready to help you decorate your porch for fall, this will get you through the next 2.5 months or so. Super cute, and it's going to be a kind of a larger project, but a cheap one. So you guys know I'm all about cheap projects, and this project foots the bill. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my camera down. Laura, Teresa, Jean, all my friends that are already on, I know I've had problems with the live video being blurry. Can you guys give me a little bit of feedback? Is it blurry today? I'm curious. I have stopped using my iPad or my laptop when I go live, hoping that that might help us. Where I'm not using as much bandwidth here at the house. So anyway, if you girls wouldn't mind to just let me know, that'll be great. What I'm going to do, hi Jenny, thank you for joining me, dear, and happy anniversary to you and your husband. I think it's so neat that you guys got married on July 4th. I'm going to go ahead and turn my camera down so that we can get started, and then I'm going to, oh Julie, that is music to my ears. Awesome. Thank you so much for letting me know. Okay, Jennifer, thank you. Hello to my sweet friend Debbie. Thanks for joining me. Jenny, that's awesome. All right, girls, I'm going to go ahead and get my camera turned down. We're going to get started, and then, like always, when we're done, I'll pop back on the screen and finish up talking to you guys to kind of tell you what our next step is. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this down. Bear with me here. And Laura, I was wondering about that, and I wonder if it's because you and I don't know if you're on TDS, if that's the problem for you and I, who knows. Okay, so you guys will have to bear with me because I'm going to have to try to watch your comments on my phone, and that's a little bit hard to do. So if you ask me a question as we're going along and I don't see your question, then just rest assured that once the video ends, I'll come back on and answer any questions you have. Or if you're catching me on the replay and you've got questions, ask your questions in the comments and I'll come back on and get those answered for you girls, okay? All right, so what we're gonna be doing today is I'm gonna teach you guys, I'm gonna turn this around so that you guys can see. Looks like a watermelon shape, right? What this actually is, girls, is Mr. Stephens and my father cut a tree down in our backyard a couple of months ago, and this was the wedge they kind of cut out of the tree to get started. So I left it outdoors so that the bark would be easy to remove because it wasn't very pretty, to be honest. And once the bark has fallen off, I think it's a super cute watermelon slice. So it doesn't get much cheaper than free. Now I realize you guys might not be cutting down a tree in your yard to get this wedge, but if you will check, a lot of times even Walmart has them in the craft aisle, but Hobby Lobby a lot of times has, especially this time of year, they'll have the little half circle or half moon shape in their unfinished wood department. So anything that looks like a half moon or a half circle, what I'm going to teach you guys today can be easily transferred to any of those shapes, regardless of what the material is, because we're going to start and make our first watermelon slice out of this slice of wood, and then we're going to be moving to burlap triangles, and I'll show those to you guys in a minute when we get started on those. And we'll talk about triangles are another really good shape when you're wanting to make a watermelon themed anything. So just remember, your half moon shape or your triangle work really good for what I'm going to teach you today. Let's see, Jean. Okay, it's kind of going in and out. Darn it, I was afraid of that. Well, you guys bear with me, please, on the blurry, and I apologize for that. Okay, girls, I'm going to tell you what I always do. I use what I have on hand. So today we're going to be using small bottles of craft paint because I have that, larger bottles of craft paint because that's what I have on hand, and for my green, because of what the overall project is going to look like, I wanted to use a little bit brighter green, and I didn't have a brighter green in one of my small craft paints, but I did have it in one of my daughter-in-law's island colors that she had painted her kitchen island, and this was the test paint that she had bought, her sample paint, and she gave it to me when she was finished with it, and it's a brighter green. It's a luau green from Sherwin-Williams, and this color is going to look really good with the overall finished product. So I chose a brighter green. When you're making your watermelon slices, you can use whatever color green you want, but for today, we're going brighter. So I'm going to try to see if I can get this turned around where you guys can watch me paint. And you guys have watched me before, so you know my rule. You don't load your paintbrush up. I'm so sorry. I just got a phone call. Sorry about that. So let me see. I thought I had turned my phone to Do Not Disturb. I'm not sure what happened. So I have not much paint on my paintbrush, and I'm going to start by painting the watermelon Rhine onto my slice. So I'm just going to go around, and I'm using a little bit wider brush, but you'll also notice, I'm going to turn it where you guys can see, that I may not want it quite as wide as the brush I'm using here, but I know I want this wider brush on my triangle watermelon slices, and I didn't want to dirty up two brushes. So if you will see, I'm kind of cheating, and I'm letting part of the brush hang off of the edge of, I hope you guys can see that good, right there, I think you can. So I'm not using the full width of my brush, okay? And that's another little cheat for you guys. So if you're painting a couple of different watermelon slices, or anything really, and you don't want the full width of the brush to be used, so sorry, another phone call. Oh my goodness, okay. Anyway, and if you want it a little bit brighter and not quite as rustic looking, you're just going to, I'm turning my brush the other way so I can get more paint into it. And you guys know me, you know my style by now is a more rustic style, so I'm not going to paint my watermelon slice to be perfect. I want some of the wood grain to show through because it automatically gives you built-in character, kind of rustic, country feel that you guys know I love. So we're just going to get this finished up real quick. And right now, if you just look at it, I was just working on the form a little bit. So there's that. We'll set our green aside till we get ready to start working on our burlap triangles. And then we're ready. I'm going to do just a thin line of this creamy white color. And guys, I'm just using apple barrel paint. You can pick these up at Walmart in the craft area, not over by the paint, near, you know, the hardware department. It's in the actual craft aisle. They've got these small little deals of paint, so that's where you'll want to pick this up. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit of the paint out on to my paper plate, and then I'm using a kind of a round tipped brush. If you don't have a round tipped brush, that's fine. You could use just a small craft brush that's not as wide. As a matter of fact, let me grab one and show you kind of what I'm talking about. Let me grab one here. I've got my craft brushes in here. So you could just use a craft brush. Let me get this down here where you can see it better. You know, it could be a square shaped craft brush that's just not as wide. You just want to pick something about as wide as you would want your thin white line to be, okay? So then next we're going to load up a little bit of paint. Don't get carried away with your paint. And then I'm just going to go right next to the green. Try to go steady and make somewhat of a straight line. And it doesn't have to be perfect, guys. But I am going to stop talking for just a minute, because with this brush, if I'm talking at all, it does make a difference. So I might not talk as much. You guys just watch for a second. Once again, doesn't have to be perfect. We're not going for perfect. We're going for cute. We're going for character. So don't get wrapped up on it's not perfect. Nobody cares. When we get done, I promise it'll be cute. Okay. You guys see, I'll turn around where you can look here in a minute. And it's not perfect. And there's areas where the white is a little more pronounced. And there's places where the white, I'll put that in our water for a minute. So there's where we're at so far, okay? So hi to my sweet friend Angie. Thank you for joining me, dear. It's always good to have you on. Okay, now we're ready to paint the bulk of our watermelon. And for this, I'm just using my larger bottle of craft paint. And again, you can pick these up at Walmart or Hobby Lobby, Michael's, any place like that's going to have them. And I'm going to put a little more red, because we know that the bulk of our watermelon is the red. So I'll put a little more out. And for it, because it's a larger surface, I am going to go ahead and use a 1-inch paintbrush, where the other brush I use for the green is considered a craft style brush. So, Debbie, you know me way too well. Don't be telling all my secrets. Debbie says I can't not talk. Debbie's known me my whole life. She knows how true that is. So, anyway. All right, guys. So now we're ready to do our red. Okay? And, like always, not going to make it perfect, because that's how I like it. If you guys want more coverage than what I'm doing, then you can do that by putting on your first kind of thin coat, looking at it, and if you're not satisfied with your coverage, then just go back over it with another thin coat. So oftentimes when you start with too much paint on your brush, you can just end up with a mess, quite honestly, guys, and end up with more paint than you got a product to put it on. So you don't want to make that kind of mistake. So it's always better to put on thin layers and build your intensity, if you will, of your coverage than it is to start with way too much paint on your brush. So, and for all you gals that have come to my DIY workshops, you know that I teach that, probably harp on it, is probably what you girls think, a little too much, but it really is important. And I share that with you guys because when I started crafting, 35 years ago, actually, that's not even true, when I was a child and was crafting, I made those kind of mistakes, and I've learned over the years. So I try to save you guys from making the same kind of mistakes that I make. So there we are with our watermelon slice. That's it, guys. It's that easy. So I'm going to set this guy aside, and we'll get started with let him dry, and we'll get started with our triangle, burlap triangles that are actually on a banner style, and I'm going to show you guys exactly what I'm using, and then I'll drop a link to this one down in the comments as well, because I bought this at Hobby Lobby, and I've heard from several of you gals that you don't have a Hobby Lobby near you. So I will drop a link to all the things I'm using today in the live down in the comments, so that if you want to make some cute watermelon crafts, then you'll have everything that you need to get started. So I picked this up, like I said, at Hobby Lobby, and it's actually a banner. If you look here, you can see just a triangle banner, and there were 12 triangles on it, and for our project, we don't need 12. 6 is more than enough for what we're going to do with ours. So I simply, and I'm going to show you, I'll go ahead and show you that next. I took the banner, okay, and I just cut it in half. You can see over here where I cut in between the 6th and 7th banner, so that we just get our 6. The other thing I wanted to tell you guys today is that if you don't have an old tablecloth or a painter's drop cloth, something like that, to do your crafting on, tape down some pieces of wax paper or parchment paper. I just bought a new painter's drop cloth the other day, and I know that because the burlap is just fabric with, you know, a loose weave, that a lot of paint is going to be going through this, and I didn't want to get paint all over my brand new painter's drop cloth, so I just taped some wax paper down. So you can tape down wax paper, you can tape down parchment paper, or even aluminum foil, something that is leak proof, and then do your crafting on that so that you can protect your work surface, and any of those work really, really well. So what we're going to do, we're going to get our green paint back and the brush that we were using for our green paint. Give me just a second here. And I'm going to get as much of the water out as I can, because while we were finishing up our watermelon, I had this green brush sitting in water. And another tip for you guys, if you don't get a lot of the water out, then your paint job won't look very good. You won't be happy. So get it as dry as you can get it before you start using it again, okay? And now we're just going to, and again, I'm just using my bright green. I'm going to put that up there so you guys can see better. And I'm going to go through on each one of our triangles and just paint a green stripe across the top. And again, I'm not getting it perfect. Okay, we're just going to do our green line. And we're going to do this across the top of each one of them. So, and the wax paper really does work good for this, guys. So don't worry if you don't have a tablecloth or something. You can just duplicate what I've done here today, and it works great for protecting your surface. Okay, and then we're just going to keep moving our banner along until we get all 6 of our watermelon slices with their green rind edge on them. So go along through here. And listen, guys, this banner would also be something cute to string up across your mantle too. So if you're looking, the project as a whole, when we do the part 2, is going to be for something for the porch or outdoors, really. But you can still use this idea and make a banner, a watermelon themed banner to hang somewhere in your kitchen, maybe across the front of a kitchen shelf, or you know, if you've got open style cabinets with shelves that way, it would be cute hanging from those, or super cute, I think, just across your fireplace mantle to kind of dress it up for summer. So that would be cute too. Okay. All right, and then we'll do our last one, and then we'll go back and paint the remaining watermelon design onto our triangles. And you guys can see how easy this is. This is actually easy enough. This entire craft is something that you could do with your kids or grandkids, or you know, if you are a teacher, it's something you could easily replicate with kids. So I want to make sure and throw that out there too, because this really is easy. And guys, I'm going right now, getting green paint all over my hands. I'm going to go back and wipe up some of our green paint just to kind of keep the mess under control as we go. Okay, now we're done with our green. Now we're going to go back to our white, and again, we're going to get as much of the water out of our brush as we can. So I'm going to dry that off good. Get that out. I hope you guys all had a good 4th of July holiday. Mr. Stephens and I were talking this morning that we cannot believe that 4th of July has came and gone. It's amazing that it feels like summertime is just flying by. So I hope that you guys enjoyed it and got to do some fun things yesterday. We had a really good day. We had some family and friends over and ate together, did some fireworks in the backyard, so we had a fun time. All right, guys, I'm going to get our white. You know what? I'm going to switch brushes real quick because that guy can tell is going to take a while on the burlap. And guys, this may happen to you too. You may start down a path with, you know, with a brush and realize that's not working too well. Fine, stick that guy aside and go with another one, just like I did. Sometimes I think the issue with the one I was just using is because it was wet, the bristles were way too soft, so it was making it harder to get my white line on. So we'll just improvise and grab a different brush, and you guys can do the exact same things. Okay? So go through. You guys can see this is a fast project. And even part 2, to complete the whole thing and pull it all together, is also something super cheap and super easy, but I think it has and will have, when we're finished, great impact for summertime decor. So I'm pretty excited for us to finish it. Let's see, go ahead and got 3 more to do here, guys. And you guys can see that there is no measuring. I am really just eyeballing by going right up next to my green. I'm just getting as close to it as I can without getting my white up on the green. Got a burlap hair, get that out of the way. Okay. So we're just go through here and get that guy finished up. Then we're down to our last one. Okay. Get him done. Okay, that guy's finished. And we'll start back at the beginning here. And now we're going to do our red. Super easy. Guys, I was thinking too, I'd mentioned a while ago that this would be a great activity for kids. If you've got a child or grandchild that has a summertime birthday and you're looking for an activity for the kids to do, you could easily have them do a watermelon craft like this. They turn out so super cute and would be something very inexpensive for you to do for the birthday party. So you might want to keep that in mind. If you've got a group of kids that you're going to be entertaining this summer, then this would be a great idea for something you could do with them. Okay. It goes pretty fast, guys. And then you know where it's headed. We're going to do our watermelon seeds and then we'll be finished up with this guy. And I've got a cheat, I will call it a cheat, kind of a tip for you guys on how to get your watermelon seeds on, the look of watermelon seeds. So you'll want to watch until I finish up these last 2 watermelons here, so that you won't miss the tip that I'm going to share for a simple way. And actually there's a couple of different ways that are super easy for you to do your seeds. But I'll show you the one that I picked for today, and then I'll tell you about the other one. Okay, we are almost finished with this part. Burlap hairs on there. And if you guys notice on the red, I'm just kind of dragging the next triangle to the same location that I've been painting them. So when I get ready to kind of clean up some of this red paint here in a little bit, it will be easy for me to clean it up because it's all going to be in basically the same area, okay? So that's my reason for that. It's just making cleanup a little bit easier. All right, done with that. Now we're going to I'm just going to use a paper towel. Actually, I might use part of this one. And wipe up some of this red paint. Okay, and all I'm doing is just getting the wet part up out of my way. So we got that done. And now I'm going to slide this back just to allow the ones we just finished to dry a little bit. And then I'm going to show you what I'm going to use to paint my seeds on. Okay, let me get this brush out of our way. All right, and I told you guys earlier that I literally am just using what I had on hand. Well, I wasn't kidding. My small black craft paint, I'm out of just the regular, so I've got gloss paint that is intended for glass, but I don't care. It's what I had on hand, so that's what we're using. So you guys could do the same things. You just use what you have on hand. So let's get a little bit of black poured out. And then there's 2 ways, actually there are 3 ways. Depending on the size of your watermelon, they make the little round sponges called spouncers. For anybody who is curious, they're called spouncers. You could use those for dotting on your watermelon seeds, or you could use just the end of your paintbrush, depending on the size of the end of your paintbrush in comparison to your watermelon slice you're creating. You don't want them to be too small or too big, but that's an idea. But what I'm going to use today for the size of both my watermelon garland that we're making and my watermelon wedge is I decided that Q-tips are the way to go, because then if I want a little bit larger seeds, I can just kind of do a little round circular motion with my Q-tip and make my seeds any size I want. So we're going to use Q-tips, and I'm going to put this where you guys can see it. So I'm just dipping it in the black paint, okay? And then no rhyme or reason to where I'm putting my seeds. I don't know. Is there a rhyme or reason to where watermelon seeds are? I don't know. I probably should have looked at some pictures online first, but I didn't. So guess what? We're making our watermelon however we want it to look. So I'm going to do mine in kind of a triangle design, okay? So just using the Q-tip, and guess what, guys? It works great. So anytime you're wanting to make the shape of, I would say more oval shapes like a watermelon seed, because I've tried doing the Q-tips, and if you do a circle and you're really good about just holding your Q-tip straight up and down, you can do little small polka dots, but sometimes if you put a little too much pressure, it has a tendency to do more of the oval shape like our watermelon seed is here. So you just want to keep that in mind and be careful if you're using it to attempt to do circles. Okay, and when we're done with all these and they've dried a little bit, I'll hold it up so you guys can kind of see what it looks like. And then I'm going to get busy. When I get off of this live, I'm going to see, because one of the things that we're going to need to finish up our project is something that I need to paint and let it dry for a while. So I'm going to try to get that painted so that we can finish up our project in the next day or so. So I'm going to try to work on that pretty quick. And guys, I'm really liking the brighter color green. Not typically a color that I've used, but when my daughter-in-law gave it to me, I was like, you know, that's kind of fun. I might find some things, and I actually have found several things to use it on. I really am fond of this color. And so for any of you that are wondering, now it did start out being luau green from Sherwin-Williams, and I think I added another green very similar to it just to have enough for one of my DIY workshops that I've done a couple of months ago. But if you like this color, kind of an apple green, then the luau green from Sherwin-Williams is a great choice. So, and I really do like this because all of my greens that I had were a little bit darker, and I thought for the color that I'm going to be doing the majority of our project, the big piece is a brighter color, and so I thought the brighter color green would just go with it more. So I'm excited to see how everything turns out. Okay, we're almost done with our watermelon garland, and then we'll move on and put our seeds on the watermelon wedge. So you guys let me know in the comments too if you've enjoyed this video and if you feel like this is something that has inspired you. It kind of helps me figure out what kind of things you guys like to see from me when I get that feedback from you. So if you give me that feedback, that really does help me decide on future projects for you. So, all right, I'm going to move this out of the way for a minute hopefully without blurring any of our seeds. Bear with me just a second, guys. Let me move this. All right, get that one out of the way. And then we're going to go back to our watermelon slice that we did at the beginning. And the end of the Q-tip's getting kind of worn, honestly, and getting kind of little crazy hairs on it, cotton hairs. So I'm going to go ahead and just use the other tip of my Q-tip so that I'm starting with more of a clean surface, okay? And I'm going to hold the watermelon this way so that you guys can see. All right? So we're just going to go through here and put us some seeds. And guys, I will tell you that for my watermelon, because you guys know that I'm all about the rustic, I will take some sandpaper, and because this is rough, a pretty rough cut of wood, being that it's, you know, literally straight off of the tree and had bark on it until, you know, just an hour ago, I'll have to use a little bit heavier grit sandpaper, but I'm going to take some sandpaper and I'm going to sand around the edges of my watermelon, and when we get to the point of our finished product, then you'll be able to see kind of how that turned out. You'll be able to look and see how. I'm going to put just a few more seeds here as a middle layer, and you'll get to see my watermelon after I sanded it, okay? All right. Well, those are kind of hard right there because I'll just make it kind of match. Actually, I'll just do a little bit bigger seed. Guys, I'm having to make the seeds on this guy just a hair bigger because there's a serious indention in my wood right there. And when I was trying to do my seed, it made it look like two different seeds. So here's how I'm going to fix that. I'm kind of glad when these things happen on a live because it gives me the opportunity to show you guys if something like that happens, you know, don't cry over spilt milk. We can fix that. And we're going to fix that by just making all of our seeds a little bit longer, okay? And then those won't look out of proportion compared to everything else. So we'll just make these a little bit bigger. No harm, no foul. So you guys, one of the things, anytime you're crafting, I can tell you things are going to happen. You know, mistakes are going to be made. Things aren't going to turn out exactly like you had in your head, and that's okay. Don't throw your project aside in frustration, just take a few minutes to think about it and say, what can I do to fix that? So in our case, what we did to fix that is we just went and made all the watermelons just a hair longer than watermelons, the seeds a hair longer, so that they all look kind of proportionate to each other. So there is our finished watermelon slice, the wooden one. So let me move this out of the way, and then I'm going to turn the garland where it's right set up for you guys so that you can kind of see what it looks like. So there's how it turned out. I think it is super cute. So there's our garland. So now I'm going to set these aside, and I'm going to turn my camera back up, and I'm going to set those aside until, oh my, hang on guys, I need to get me a different holder for my phone. I think that one's, I don't know if it's getting worn out, but anyway, I need to get something else. I'm going to set this aside and let it dry. Then I'm going to go start painting on the big piece of our project and hopefully come back to you guys in the next couple of days so we can finish it up and you guys can use it. Hopefully it will inspire you to do something very similar to use to decorate your front porch and or your yard somewhere. So we'll get that done. As a reminder though, before I leave the live, I just want to remind you guys that I am giving away this cute little necklace. So if you want to be entered into the drawing, I need you to like this video, share this video, and then come back and comment that you've shared it. And then tomorrow night on Saturday evening, I'm going to randomly draw a winner, and I'll be mailing this necklace out to somebody on Monday. So if you guys would like to win the necklace, then make sure you get the video liked and shared. Oh, and one more thing, you need to have liked my page. So if you haven't liked my page, make sure you like my page, because a couple of the other giveaways I've done a couple of months ago, I had gals that didn't get to win the prize even though I drew their name because they hadn't liked my page. You have to like my page. And the way that you'll know that is by going onto my page and then looking to see if you've liked, the little thumb up. It'll tell you that you've liked my page. If you don't see that and it's kind of grayed out, then you're going to need to hit that so that you'll like my page and see all my future posts. So I need you to do that as well. The other thing I wanted to share with you guys today is I've heard from a lot of you that you never know when I'm going live, that you miss the lives and you want to be a part of the lives. In order to know that you're going to see my lives in the future here on Facebook, if you will look up in the top right hand corner, the 3 little dots, if you'll hit those and then get notifications when I go live, if you'll turn that on, then you will get notified on your phone every time I go live so that you guys don't miss the live events. So do that and make sure that you stay plugged in. So Deb, you could make these. This is so easy. You could do this with Luke. You and Luke could totally do this and would be super, super cute. So Ashley, I see that you've just joined too. You'll want to go back and watch from the beginning because this is a great idea for your classroom. Your kids will have a lot of fun with this and it's super easy. So you'll want to go back to the beginning and watch so that you can do that. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for all of your support and your continued support. I appreciate it. And if you're just now joining me, jump back on because also I'm doing a giveaway today. So I appreciate you guys. You'll have a great rest of your Friday afternoon and I'll be back with you soon so we can get this project finished up. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.